Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So I'm going to be tiptoeing around some hot water today. So unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you're all aware of the very serious conflict taking place between Israel and Palestinians. Now you're tuned into the Rev Says Desu channel. None of you care about my opinion regarding that conflict, nor should you. Like, you shouldn't be getting your opinion from someone like me on that very serious conflict. However, I do feel very qualified to make some observations about how some people on social media have been using this conflict for their own personal gain, whether it's gaining clout on places like Twitter or using this conflict to launch witch hunts against people they don't like. Now, we're going to start with this situation involving Christina Valenzuela, better known as her stage name, Christina V. She is a very accomplished voice actress who has voiced many roles in cartoons as well as anime dubs. Now, recently she was run off of Twitter, forced to deactivate after being the subject of one of these witch hunts I just described. Now, I was able to grab this screenshot from another user before she deactivated. This was her last set of messages. She said, "Hey everyone, I really appreciate the people who researched the false rumors and misinformation that was going around, and I thank the original poster for retracting. However, reading posts telling me I should gay men myself, I'm a horrible person, etc., took a toll, and I've decided it's time to permanently delete Twitter for my own mental health." Now, what is she referring to? Well, she's referring to a thread made by this user who was also deactivated. This was their last tweet before deactivating, basically saying that they've updated their list and they have removed Christina V from that list. Well, what was the list? It was a list of people they claim were Zionist voice actors and that you should be boycotting them as a result. Now, as you can probably guess, the proof of this was zero. There was absolutely no proof that she was a Zionist. And also, on top of that, as people discovered, including the author of the thread, she is in fact pro-Palestine and has gone on strikes as recent as a week ago that were in support of Palestinians. So they got all of this completely wrong. This was a baseless claim, and yet people gobbled it up from this random Twitter user and went out and harassed her over this claim. Yeah, very, very scary stuff. And a lot of people have tried to defend the original attempt, basically saying this wasn't supposed to be a harassment campaign. It was a boycott list. First of all, how do you boycott a human being? But also, when you label someone a Zionist and then say you should boycott this person, it's going to lead to harassment. Like, what do you think was going to happen with threads and lists like that? But it wasn't just voice actors being targeted. There's also been VTubing agencies who have been targeted by these strikes, including Idol Corp. So over 11,000 people have supported a strike against the agency Idol Corp. And that's a pretty popular agency, and you're probably asking, like, well, what did they do? Why are people going on a 1-week strike against this company? Well, one reason and one reason only, it's because they're based in Israel. That is it. And the easiest response or question you should ask next when you see this thread is, how does this help end the conflict? What does boycotting this VTuber agency have to do with anything? How will this bring positive results? And also, if you want to know the seriousness of this strike, it's only a week long. Like, it's not an indefinite strike or boycott, it's a 1-week strike, which just shows you how serious these people are, which is not very serious. But a lot of people have been going after content creators over the past couple of weeks, begging them to make a stance on this conflict, to say something. And it looks like Mudahar, or Somewhere Near Gamers, got dragged into this because he was making tweets about Hassan Piker, who recently said it's more draining to be a streamer than basically every 9-to-5 job that exists. And he made tweets about Hassan, and people are saying, well, you'll tweet about Hassan, but you won't tweet about Palestine, where he responded with this brutal ratio, with this Photoshop of him talking to the related sides of the conflict. Obviously taking a jab at the situation as if he's supposed to make some tweet and it'll change this whole conflict and everything will be resolved. But he explains further in the reply saying this: "On streams, I've maintained this is a conflict that shouldn't exist. With the death toll rising and innocents displaced, I would hope this conflict ends at some point before the end of my life. This is how most people treat this complex situation. We don't like seeing dead children. If you asked me this on stream, you'd hear those exact words relayed back to you. If you want to see change, write to your MP and ask them to discuss this on your behalf." This is a very reasonable take on this entire conflict. The most important thing being, if you want actual change, Twitter is not going to be the route. If you want real change, you should go talk to your legislators and try to get something moving through that. I am telling you, as much as you think Twitter is some sort of a awareness spreading tool, it pales in comparison to real life action. Okay, we all know this. A tweet with 100,000 likes is not going to have as much of an impact as talking with your local legislators and to try to get something going with this situation so they can speak on your behalf. But of course, people want to do all sorts of crazy virtue signaling on Twitter, and a lot of it is surrounded by clout chasing. And I think nothing captures it more than this disgusting tweet. It has nothing to do with the message. It's the fact that they are bringing Technoblade into this situation and claiming he has a stance on this conflict. He does not have a stance on this conflict because he is dead. He has passed away. He was, for those who don't know, a very popular, very well-liked YouTuber who passed away from cancer not that long ago. And this person is literally putting words in the mouth of a dead man. I can't think of anything more ghoulish than doing something like this. Like I said, regardless of what side this was being supportive of, it's just a very wildly inappropriate thing to do to someone who is no longer with us. But there was also another battle, this time involving fictional characters, because people are battling to decide what Hatsune Miku would say about this conflict. Yes, this is real. People see this conflict unfolding and they think, what would Hatsune Miku think? What side would she be on? And we see these absolutely goofy tweets like this for both sides, making edits of Hatsune Miku to support their own side because apparently they need validation from fictional characters to support their political beliefs or whatever stance that they're taking. And yeah, like this user said, this place is so unserious, and a lot of people do feel that way, okay? It's not like everyone supports these things. We have a 60,000 liked tweet right here saying, Miku does not support Israel or Palestine. She likes singing, eating leek, and hanging out with friends. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she is not real. She does not have opinions. She is a Japanese Vocaloid software. She is not sentient. She does not have opinions. But it's weird that people need to know what Hatsune Miku would think involving this conflict. It's very, very strange. But people would clap back with 40,000 likes with a literal self-insert of this SpongeBob meme saying people are dying and you're concerned with the interpretation of a fictional pop idol like MF. Go outside, talk to people, and develop some basic effing human empathy. And I can't think of anything more narcissistic than the self-insert, literally self-inserting into this conflict with your actual OC, because apparently Squidward wasn't making the cut. They got rid of Squidward. They axed him and put in, I guess, a more appropriate choice so they can promote their artwork through this post they're making talking about basic human empathy. Let's talk about basic human empathy, okay? As the previous user would respond, they would make a point a lot of people have raised. I think it's very disingenuous and wrong to reduce this very real, very serious conflict to a battle between Israel Miku and Palestine Miku. It's very strange that that is something that is happening and people are using these characters as props for driving clouts on social media. And as this user would end their thread, they would say, I support Palestine. In fact, I have supported it for a while. My church I volunteer at and work at collected over 100K for Palestine in the past few months. But then again, I don't sit online arguing with Zionists all day, so the F do I know? Yeah, if you're someone who actually cares about this conflict or the many conflicts going on in the world right now, your change, the change you want to see, is best going to be achieved through going out and taking real life action. It's not the best route to go to Twitter and try to make Hatsune Miku edits to try to bring change to very serious conflicts. It's just not a very wise decision or use of your time. But of course, we're talking to Twitter users and yeah. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching the video. A lot of controversial topics, so as always, try to be respectful in the comment section, but share your opinion, share your thoughts. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.